Friends, hello. It is hump day in the middle of the week of the market here, and actually things are doing okay right now. Focusing on Mullen here, there are some things that have come out here, and here's how I'm going to present this information. There's going to be a group of people who go, I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this particular person you're even talking about. I'm pretty upset with the company, and I'm not listening to any more of their lies. And then there's going to be a group of you who go, hold up, wait a minute, let's hear what they have to say, and maybe something good will come out of this. And listen, all I'm doing is just presenting the news. So let's talk about what's going on here with Mullen. And I'm not trying to make a slasher video here on Mullen. I'm just putting out here what's going on. So hopefully Mullen doesn't get mad at me for what I'm about to present here. That's already out in the open. I'm not making up things. This is out here. So Mullen, the stock, just to get everyone up on track, we've had double reverse splits. People are bag holding. People are just in a bad way right now with Mullen, and the stock is unable to attain $1 more than 10 consecutive trading days, which obviously NASDAQ said, hey, you got to do something. They took an extension. They're living off the extension right now, and more than likely, as the way things are going, listen, the possibilities of Mullen being delisted here are very, very possible. And I hope they're not. Obviously, I hope they're not. But that is in the park, and everyone needs to be aware of that situation. So if somebody's telling you they're not, I would do some research myself if I was you, because it is really a possibility. These things happen more than you think. Mullen is in the spotlight after the company filed a Form 8K to retain that it had terminated its relationship with Lawrence Global EV Technology and EV Technology. However, the electric vehicle EV company did not note that as part of a one-time accommodation, it will allow Mr. Lawrence here to test his units on 2 Mullen vehicles located at the EPA certified test facilities in order to verify the technology. No dates have been scheduled. So and let me get this right here too. This is Lawrence right here, and some of you are going to know who Lawrence is, and you're already just shaking your head, and I'm going to explain who he is. So here's what Lawrence had to say. Very soon, some of you gonna regret the manner in which y'all attacked Mullen. I'm gonna do more EPA tests. My technology is now going into worldwide production, Mullen, and I'm gonna react where we left off. Time to turn things around for the people who stuck with Mullen. Okay, so to try to simplify what is going on here, and like I said, I'm just presenting news. I'm not trying to get a lawsuit on me. I'm just presenting news, what's been going on here. So the whole year, going back just a few months here, probably, I don't know, probably what, May, correct me if I'm wrong here. Lawrence here, we'll just say Lawrence came out and said, there is going to be a huge deal with Mullen Automotive and me, what we're working on, and it's gonna be a $10 billion Saudi deal. And when people saw $10 billion, I mean, we're talking Tesla numbers now. People were like, holy crap. And there was a huge push on Mullen, and people were like, well, if this really happens, this is the deal of a lifetime. So Mullen shot up quite a bit. And then, every time Lawrence would go live or dates were supposed to happen, things would just fall through, and there was some shady stuff going on. And Mullen themselves really weren't addressing the situation. So it was very weird, and a lot of us were trying to figure out, we were just, as investors, trying to help each other and be like, has anybody heard anything? What's going on here? Now, Mullen, their number one fight this whole year has been talking about, short sellers, manipulating the stock and all that, and trying to get down to the bottom of it. And there has been a lot of that going on with Mullen. Obviously, the stock has taken a lot of abuse from day traders, short traders, all that, pushing and selling and just ripping it apart. And, we've watched that over the past months here with Mullen. So, it's good that they're addressing this now. It's almost like too little too late, sadly. And Lawrence here, who listen, do your own research on Mr. Lawrence here. I'm not gonna, just do your own research. Just do your own stuff. This was definitely something coming down the pipeline here. And obviously now seeing this, it's kind of obvious why Mullen has not been talking about the situation. And, you know, that Saudi deal that Lawrence was talking about, and even walking around with dudes that were supposedly in development with this whole EV Saudi deal, you know, there were guys that looked like they were from Saudi. The whole thing kind of just never happened. It went quiet, and people were figuring out real fast that, and maybe Mullen to an extent, they really haven't released, you know, news on that, but hey, maybe this was a lie. Maybe a lot of us were right. So sadly, a lot of people believed in the $10 billion deal, and you know, I did for a second, you know, because we just knew what we knew, and Mullen was like, they weren't saying anything, they were like, yeah, it's true. But now this is just where it is, and you know, I don't know that this is good for Mullen in the sense of like this is going to shoot up the stock. It obviously didn't. It really hasn't done anything. Mullen's just trying to survive at this 50-cent mark, and it's not even sustaining that right now. So Lawrence is obviously PO'd. He's you know, just mad, and this is a guy that a lot of people are unhappy with. So like I said, you know, now that I've said what I've said, there's people that are like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm totally in agreement. You know, we've been through a lot here with this whole situation. And then there's people maybe new to the situation with Mullen, Lawrence, and all that. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I think Mullen is going to be the future. That's great. I will say this too. If you're new to Mullen, Mullen is a company that is, they're selling vehicles, they're making money. They haven't broke into the private sector of, you know, sedans and all that with their car and it taking over. And obviously that's a broad market. That's a huge situation they're trying to conquer. But they do have sleek looking vehicles, and it's a good looking company by any means. But they do, where they make their money right now is these big fleet deals where they sell X amount of vehicles to companies, and you know, they receive you know millions of dollars, half millions, you know, just X amount of money to keep going, and while they push their other, you know, private sector there. So that is kind of what's going on here in a fishbowl. So I'm just going to put this out here. Like I said, I don't know where this is going to land Mullen. I really don't. I think this is probably going to get a little bit nastier. I think Lawrence is probably going to say more things, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see what he does say and what Mullen comes out with what they're going to say too. Because, you know, I know a lot of people are pissed. They're pissed at Mullen with this whole situation with what was said this year. You know, there was a lot of promises made where people were maybe just, you know, putting a lot of money into Mullen. I know a lot of people were putting money into Mullen on the hope that, yeah, maybe this deal, this big Saudi deal and some other things they said were real and going to happen, but they just never happened. And now investors have gone through 2 reverse splits just within the 6-month period. Plus, now the stock is damaged and it's trying not to be delisted. So it's a sticky situation for Mullen, and it is hard because Mullen is a good-looking car company. And yes, they are a real car company. I know a lot of people say they're not real. They are real. This is a real company. But it's just got mixed up with the wrong people and with the wrong situations. So, friends, taking a deep breath, let me know what you think. I really am interested which side of the fence you're on. I know there's people that are going to say, I'm in the wrong, I'm crazy, Lawrence is the man. and then there's going to be people who are just really letting Lawrence have it in the comments, and I totally get that too. But it is unique. But it is interesting too that Mullen is allowing Lawrence to test a couple of the units here that they have at the site. So we'll see what there's going to be more said here. I really think this is just the start of this situation, and my concern is that it's just more negative news compounding on what's already been going on with Mullen, and Mullen just really needs good news, really good news. I don't know what to tell you, friends. Everyone, take care. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.